Good morning all. Today's session will discuss about ICMP protocol. ICMP stands for Internet Control Message Protocol, and we all know that in computer communications we learnt about a small topic on this, just intro about this ICMP. So ICMP is nothing but an Internet Control Message Protocol, which is a network layer protocol. So mainly it is used for error handling in the network layer, and it is primarily used on network devices like routers and all. So whenever we have different types of errors exist in the network layer, ICMP is used to report these errors and also to debug those errors. So purely it is used only for error handling in the network layer, because we know that IP protocols does not handle error. So in this case ICMP is going to support. For example, some sender wants to send the message to some destination, but the router could not send the message to the destination. In this case, the router sends the message to the sender that I could not send the message to the destination. So these certain cases we can able to use this ICMP. So the IP, as I said, like the IP protocol does not have any error reporting or error correcting mechanism. So it uses a message to convey the information. For example, like if someone sends the message to the destination, the message is somehow stolen between the sender and the destination. If no one reports the error, then the sender might think that the message has reached the destination. But if someone in between reports the error, then the sender can able to resend the message very quickly. This part is actually taken care by the ICMP. So as I said, ICMP protocol has no error reporting or error correcting mechanism. So when error occurs, no built-in mechanism to notify the original host. So in order to handle the errors, we have this ICMP protocol. So this is the position of ICMP in the network layer. The ICMP resides in the IP layer as shown in the diagram, and this is the ICMP encapsulation. And actually we have IP header and IP data, and each and every protocol has its own value. Okay. So now ICMP we can classify into two types, category of messages. One is error reporting, the other one is query messages. So error reporting messages actually like type 3, type 4, type 11, type 12 and type 5, we have some set of categories. Yes, so this is the error reporting messages, and type 3 type 3 is for destination unreachable, type 4 for source quench, type 5 let me tell in an order so that it will be easy for you to remember. Redirection, and 11 is for time exceeded, 12 is for parameter problem. And the query messages is the second category, where you have type 8 as echo request or reply, 8 or 0, and 13 or 14 it goes for timestamp request and reply. So this is the normally a message format will be in this form. So you have an 8 bits of type, 8 bits of code and 16 bits of checksum, and the rest for the header and the data section. So error reporting, so let us talk about the error reporting message. The error reporting message means the router encounters a problem when it processes an IP packet, then it reports a message. And like query and the second category, query messages, where we have those messages that help the host to get the specific information of another host. So please make a note of it. So whenever a router encounters a problem, when it is processing an IP packet, then it is going to report a message, where that time we will go for error reporting message. Whereas query messages or those messages that help the host to get the specific information of another host. For example, let's say like there are some client and server, and the client wants to know whether the server is live or not, then it sends the ICMP message to the server. Okay, so the message format also we have seen. And Yes, the message format we have seen. So, yeah, we have to make one thing to be clear is the ICMP protocol always reports error messages to the original source. For example, when the sender sends the message, if any error occurs in the message, then the router reports to the sender rather than the receiver, as the sender is sending the message. So, please make a note of it. Always the error messages will be sent to the original source. Now we have some 5 category under error reporting, like destination unreachable, source quench, time exceeded, parameter problems and redirection. The destination unreachable error occurs when the packet does not reach the destination. For example, suppose the sender sends the message but the message does not reach the destination. Then the intermediate router reports to the sender that the destination is unreachable, and we all know the format of this, and it's a we don't have enough time to discuss in detail about each and every format. So, next is your source quench. Source quench normally is nothing but if there is no flow control or congestion control mechanism in the network layer or in any layer of the IP protocol, the sender is concerned with only sending the packets, and the sender does not think whether the receiver is ready to receive those packets or if there is any congestion occurs in the network layer, so that the sender can able to reduce the number of packets, so that there will not be any flow control like congestion control. So, in this case ICMP is going to provide feedback, that is source quench. Suppose the sender resends the packet at a higher rate and the router is not able to handle the high data rate. To overcome such a situation, the router sends a source quench message to tell the sender the packet at a lower rate. So, in order to overcome the if sender is sending the packet at a higher rate and the router is not able to handle the higher data rate, and to handle this the router sends a source quench message to tell the sender to send the packet at a lower rate. Suppose for example, if I am taking the classes at a faster rate and if you are not in a position to receive that, then you should give me a source quench type of message to reduce my speed of instructing. Okay, this is what about source quench message. And in source quench message, the message it will inform the sender that the datagram has been discarded due to the congestion that occurred in the network layer. The next one is your time exceeded. As the name implies, sometimes the situation arises when there are many routers that exist between the sender and receiver, and when the sender sends the packet, then it moves in a routing loop. So, the time exceeded is actually based on TTL, what it is nothing but time to live value. So, when the packet traverses through the router, then each router decreases the value of TTL by 1. So, TTL is 5 means, so that many number of hops it has to travel. So, once it reaches the first hop, for example, the TTL value will become 5 minus 4, which is 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. So, the router decreases the value of TTL by 1. So, whenever router decreases a datagram with the time to live value of 0, then that particular datagram will be discarded and the time exceeded message will be sent to the original source. And so, next is nothing but the parameter problems. So, parameter problems if the parameters are not properly set, so the router and destination host can able to send a parameter problem message to the sender, so that it can able to redirect it, so that it can able to set the parameters properly and again resend it. The next one is redirection. When the packet is sent, then the routing table is gradually augmented and updated. So, the tool used to achieve this is the redirection message. For example, let me show in the example the diagram. Yes, this is what redirection is. When the packet is sent, then the routing table is gradually we are updating it. Like for example, A wants to send the packet to B, and there are two routers exist between A and B. First, A sends the data to router 1. The router 1 sends the IP packet to router 2 and redirection message to A, so that A can update its routing table. Actually, the shortest path, based on the shortest path, the router used to update its routing table, and Now a redirection message will be sent from the, actually the packet, node A has to has to send the packet to R2, router 2, but unknowingly or by the unupdated information sends the IP packet to router 1, and our router 1 sends the IP packet to R2, and it also sends a redirection message to the original source that hereafter you should not send the IP packet to B and you have to send it to R2. Some kind of information will be sent to the particular node. Yes, and this is the format. And query messages actually like echo request and echo reply. So router or host can send an echo request message. Normally this message is to ping a message to another host, are you alive? If the other host is alive, then it sends the echo reply message. And this echo reply is always sent by the router or the host that receives an echo request. So normally a request reply kind of message. And we also know the format of this. This is the format of echo request reply. So in case of request it is 8, otherwise it is replies will be of 0. Then timestamp request and are also type of query messages. Suppose the computer A wants to know the time on computer B, so it sends the timestamp request to computer B. The computer responds with a timestamp reply message, and this is the format of type 13 for request and type 14 for reply. And yes, and the remaining is router solicitation advertisement. If the host wants to send data to host on another network, it needs to know the address of routers connected on its own network. So in that case it is going to advertise advertisement message so that it can able to find the host. This is what, and the type is about is of 10, and checksum it is used for error detection. And ICMP debugging tool, where we have two debugging tools, one is ping, the other one is traceroute. Traceroute is actually a tool that tracks the route taken by a packet on an IP network from source to destination. So what it does is it records the time taken by the packet on each hop during its route from source to destination. Traceroute uses ICMP messages and TTL values, both ICMP and TTL values. The TTL value is calculated. If the TTL value reaches 0, the packet gets discarded. So traceroute uses small TTL values as they get quickly expired. If the TTL value is 1, then the message is produced by router 1. If the TTL value is 2, then the message is produced by router 2, and so on, like this. And in case of and the ping is check for alive, whether the other host is alive or not. So that's all about ICMP protocol. Thank you all.